Hopefully that'll help me match the audio on the mic to the video. Who knows? Anyway, welcome. Episode 1 of PapaFit's Good Enough podcast. The first episode is going to be about why I call my podcast Good Enough. I think that good enough is something that we all need to strive for. I was inspired by actually a very specific individual on this topic and even for the name of my podcast. Someone named Sean Casey. The guy is killing it on social media. He's an Irish kid, he's young. He's got that like boyish good looks, got that monotone. He's got that like seeming way more innocent than he actually is. It's perfect for television or for, social media, whatever. But I got onto one of his podcasts. I mean, he has literally millions and millions of followers, excuse me. And it was decent. It was a pretty good podcast. I'm following him now on Spotify. And then I went and I listened to his first ever podcast. So I think it was like episode 98 that I listened to. And then I went to his first one ever. And it was terrible. The content wasn't terrible, but he was nervous. And he was even like so transparent. I mean, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've, recorded this like 4 times. And so, screw it. Whatever comes out this time, I'm posting. I don't care if there's mistakes, whatever. And I respected that so much. He wasn't, I'm assuming, even using a microphone. There was like echoes in the room. And anyway, so just to see where he started, from where he came, that took 98 episodes. If you just start, just begin, you will be better and you'll learn along the journey. And don't be ashamed of where you're starting. Actually, most people love to see the transformation before and after, right? So I'm going to talk mostly about diet and nutrition. This is PapaFit's channel, but I'm a teacher. I'm a father. There's no way I'm not going to be interlacing certain other things into it, things that I've come across or, I'm just here to help people because the more you approach life from a selfless perspective, the more you get. So ironically, it's a very selfish thing to do to give yourself up to people. Trust me, things always come back to you tenfold. So there we go. That's why I've called this a Good Enough podcast. And that's why I'm in here. I don't know if this is going to be a 10-minute podcast or a 1-hour podcast. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. But I've got a microphone. I've got the Zoom P4 PodTrack thingy. I think it's good enough. There's probably the toys in the background, whatever. I don't have a proper studio. It's my house. But it's good enough. And I'm starting. And I'm going to commit myself to recording at least 100 episodes before I give up. Whether I do it once a day, once a week, I don't know. But I'm going to get to 100. Trust me. Okay, so let's just continue episode 1 with the theme of good enough. There's a topic here, and I'm not going to lie, I'm reading a little bit off of these notes. So there's a topic or something called perfection paralysis. So what that means is that sometimes people are so focused on achieving perfection that it causes them to be paralyzed. They don't even take any action at all. So fitness, this is a huge issue for so many people. They're waiting to get their gym membership. They're waiting until Monday when the first day of the week starts. They're waiting till, XXX to start what they want to do. And in the meantime, they're losing time and potentially creating more opportunities to not get started or to quit or for the demons to get inside your head. So don't be wary when you're getting caught in this perfection paralysis, okay? Don't get caught up in it. Just go ahead and get started. And it's amazing how people don't realize, you don't ever have to wait. You could be in the middle of a binge. You could be in the middle of breaking your diet on day 1 and catch yourself in that moment and make a change. So you could literally okay, I've just eaten 3 burgers and half a bag of potato chips. I'm going to leave that last bag of potato chips and I'm going to go for a walk. You are already back on track. If you just realize that and were able to pick up when you're making excuses and getting stuck into this perfection paralysis cycle, trust me, your life will change. That's when you're going to long-term achieve your goal. Because especially with diet and nutrition, it's not like a temporary thing. It's not like, let me get this done and then I'll never have to do it again. It is every single day for the rest of your life. So make it work. Don't try and be too perfect. Do it the way that's easy for you. Make some mistakes, learn from them, keep going back to things, whatever. It's okay. That's something that I really want to hammer upon. Another topic is unrealistic expectations. I think social media obviously hasn't helped with this. Before and after photos and, whatever. There's a lot of pressure. Once again, the minute you take this as a lifelong goal, as a lifestyle versus a short-term thing, the better you will be able to manage your expectations. So could you lose tons of weight in like 1 or 2 months? Maybe. 99.9% of people that try and do that fail. And then those that get there, 3 weeks from the time they reach their target, they're almost halfway back to their old weight again. So they didn't learn anything. I don't think the point is to get there. The point is to get there and stay there. So set more realistic expectations. Don't be so hard on yourself. Because once again, like those unrealistic expectations can lead to major disappointments. This whole thing, it's a lot of psychology. I know I'm talking mostly about fitness and nutrition, a lot of biology and physiology and all that crap, nutrition, but it really actually is a head game. You get your head right, you understand the reasons why you're doing the things you do and catch yourself, you will get there in the end, and you'll get there in a much healthier, more sustainable way. Self-criticism. This is something that even Papa is a victim of. Try not to speak too negative to yourself. Try and look at things as learning opportunities. The fact that you failed isn't an issue. The fact that you quit is a bigger issue. So if you failed and you got back on it, celebrate the living heck out of that, man. Try not to get too hard on yourself. Keep people around you who are positive. It's really hard these days. I mean, the world isn't an easy place to live. I know that. I mean, I'm once again a major victim of this myself. So, but sometimes you find people who really are like happy-go-lucky and they approach things the right way, and keep a lot more of those in your life. Clean out your feed. Anyone on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, your social media, if you're finding a lot of negativity, unfollow those people, man. Keep the people who are there motivating, who have the same kind of goals, the kind of person you want around you every day. Keep those in your feed. That's just very simple bit of advice I can give you. So there's a power in starting everything, okay? You will literally, it's impossible not to get there if you don't quit. Like I said, I could be the worst freaking podcaster ever known to man. But if I do anything 100 times in a row, I'm guaranteed to be better than the first time. There is no way in hell. Like, it is physically impossible to not get better after doing something 100 times. So you may be the worst basketball player in the world. But I guarantee you, if you take 100 shots every single day for 100 days, and then took a before and after recording, so video yourself the first day, video yourself after 100 days of doing that, I guarantee you 100% you'll see some improvement. So just get started, okay? There's a huge amount of power in getting started. And this can apply to anything in your life, not just weight loss and fitness. For your career, for your job, for whatever it is you want to do, start now, okay? That's all you have to do. And if you don't stop, you will get there. It's like a marathon. You could be in the worst shape of your life. You could be somebody with a limp, right? But you can limp 27 miles or 42 kilometers or wherever the hell, freaking, don't even know what I'm talking about now. Whatever the hell a marathon is, right? Whatever length a marathon is, you can technically limp there. It might take you like 3 days of limping and you'd be in a lot of pain, but you can finish a marathon. So imagine if you don't have a limp. What's your excuse? So it's this idea of consistency over perfection. Do it over and over. Design it in a way that you can do it. If you can't go to the gym every day or you don't have access to a gym, guess what? Don't make a plan that you will automatically fail. Go to the gym 2 times a week. Fine. Or do a little bit of home workouts every single day. I swear to God, it's enough. I think that the fitness industry tries to make people think that you need equipment, that you need time, you need these things because why? It makes you spend money. That's when you start going on Amazon and buying crap, going to more expensive gyms or whatever. If you literally did push-ups to failure, squats to failure, some kind of pull exercise to failure every day, you will gain. If you're eating right, you will improve, you'll get stronger, and you'll gain. Yes, it's hard to keep getting stronger. It gets to a certain point with bodyweight exercises where you have to add a bit of weight. But guess what? A backpack, a bag of flour, whatever. There are ways around this, okay? So just be consistent. If you can make it to the gym every day, perfect. I mean, some of you kids out there are probably single, don't have anything better to do. By the way, this podcast is sponsored by Cancer. Oh, yeah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. For those of you listening, I'm sipping on a Coke Zero. Oh, it's so delicious. Sorry about that. Oh, here comes the burp. Yep, I've just burped on my first ever podcast. You are witnessing authenticity in action. Okay, be flexible too. Look, you ever heard that, like, the definition of a crazy person is the person who does the same thing over and over again and expects a different outcome? You're going to have to make some kind of change. So yeah, I'm saying be positive, be consistent. You'll get there in the end. But you can't be like freaking stuffing your face with crap, not moving around, doing the same things that you've been doing all your life and expect to get better. So you will need to make some changes. Be flexible. Don't be so rigid. If you're there 80% of the time, once again, consistency over perfection, you'll eventually get there. Celebrate your progress. You need to realize that there are a lot of mini milestones before you get to your final goal. So if your goal is to lose like 20 kilograms, it's not like you're going to be miserable that whole time between 0 and 20 kilograms of weight loss because, I haven't reached my goal yet. It's not all or nothing. An analogy I've used, I think, in a video before is that imagine like you have a pain in your back and you're carrying a bag with plates of weight. So your goal is actually to remove all the weight off your back to relieve pain. So along the way, it's going to take time, but every, so often, one little bit of weight comes out of the backpack. Are you going to be like, oh no, I haven't, are you going to complain or say, I wish I didn't even lose that bit of weight because I haven't reached the final target? No. Why? Because every single time a little piece of that weight gets removed from the backpack, that's a little bit of pressure taken off of you. Those are mini milestones, mini successes along the way. You should enjoy them. You should feel great. Why? Because life is getting better along the way. And then when you reach your final goal, yeah, you'll feel amazing. But guess what? You're going to start making new goals because all of a sudden you're going to be like, well, now I look good, but now I want to get strong as hell. Or, okay, now I'm stronger. I want to get faster. So it's never ending. This is a lifelong journey. And trust me, you'll never feel satisfied. And in fact, content is better than satisfaction. But that's a whole nother episode. Okay, maybe I'll get into that. The difference between happiness and contentness. But, make sure that you're celebrating your progress and that you are picking up those little mini milestones. So how do you usually do that? I mean, the weight scale itself is helpful for some people. But if you're pretty lean, sometimes the weight isn't always a good indicator. You might gain weight, but be losing fat. Progress pictures, is a great way. I love weightlifting because it's so easy to measure. So you can see when you're getting stronger because why? You've added more weights to the bar. Or, even calisthenics, if you're doing more push-ups or you've unlocked a new move or whatever the hell you're doing. I mean, there's so many ways of measuring success and progress along the way. So make sure you celebrate it. It's good for you. It'll keep you going. I'm not going to focus too much on motivation because really you shouldn't rely on that. If you're consistent, you won't need the motivation. I know you've heard this before. Learn from setbacks, okay? Falling forward, you ever heard of that? So you can fall, but if you fall forward, at least you're going in the right direction. When you fall backwards, that sucks. Falling forwards is what happens when you screw up, but you freaking learn. So you realize, okay, I messed up my diet. What the hell did I do wrong? Where did it all go wrong? Maybe you skipped a couple meals, so you were like starving. Maybe you didn't prepare ahead of time. Maybe you didn't warn your friends or something so that they weren't more supportive for you. Because sometimes it's just that simple. Say, hey, guys, I'm trying to behave myself. Instead of, going out to fast food, can we go have a coffee? 99.9% of the time, they'll be like, yeah, sure, why not? So, it's just about like learning, like where did I go wrong? How did I fall off track? How can I avoid it in the future? Just make sure that your mental and emotional well-being is also intact. It shouldn't just be about physical when you're on the journey. Because oftentimes, like the mental stuff, the emotional stuff can trigger you falling off because you end up using food as a crutch, right? So you're having a crap day, you're feeling insecure, somebody's crapping on you. So you're going to eat something because why? It makes you feel relaxed. It makes you fall asleep, whatever it is. So address your mental and emotional well-being issues too, because that'll really, really help you long-term keep to your plan. And in general, what's the point of achieving physical goals if you are sad and not with it up there mentally, right? Like really, there's literally no point in having a six-pack and being a freaking psycho and depressed all the time and wanting to kill yourself. And yes, there's people who have hurt themselves and have horrible lives and get into drug addictions and all this crazy stuff who look amazing. And that's just proof that it's not just about the physical. So keep that in mind. So a lot of talking. Yeah, a lot of psychology. I don't know. Is this too deep? I don't know. Maybe kids don't find this that interesting, but it's like a start for me. Okay, it's my first ever podcast. I'm excited. I don't feel very comfortable. I need to get this mic higher. I'm tired of slouching over or whatever, but at least I got my Diet Coke. Oh, delicious. A little ASMR. So, yeah, plenty more, hopefully, where this comes from. I'm probably posting this on YouTube as a video. I'm sure I'll be chopping it up and trying to share it over social media. I'm aiming to maybe post it also on Spotify and Apple. Please support me at PapaFit UAE on all my social media. Follow me and give me feedback, okay? I need to learn from my setbacks, and unless I get some feedback from the audience, there's no way in hell that'll ever happen. Listen, kids, thank you very much for joining me for my first ever podcast. Papa loves you all. I hope you love the background. You'll have a nice day.